Welcome to Behind the Scanlation, where we take the camera behind the boundary box and we see all the fantastic things on what it takes to scan and translate a manga. It's super exciting. Indeed. I know you're going to love it. It's fantastic. We have a great chapter up for us now. Tom, it's been like 3 weeks since we put out a chapter.
Perhaps.
Can you bring us up to speed? What's happening in the story now? What's the deepest lore? We're talking about Monster Girl Village.
Yep.
It's all the cutest monster girls. They're all like coming together. They live in a village. It's great.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Oh man, I wasn't ready for this pop quiz. I don't remember exactly what happened 3 weeks ago. Let's see. So I think they had just introduced like 2 new like human villagers. And the last chapter, I think, was the daughter kind of coming to terms with, like, coming out of her shell, basically, and warming up to the villagers.
She's coming out, and she wants the world to know. She's got to let it show.
Excellent. Beautiful. Now we got copyright stricken. Striked? I don't know. It did take 3 weeks. I'd like to say that it's because there were a few things that really gave me a lot of trouble. But half of it was me being lazy. Half of it was, like, work stuff, whatever. Nobody cares about excuses. Let's just get into the manga.
All right. Well, first off the page, this is a great panel we're getting. We're having the what is it called when it cuts the middle of a movie scene?
Almost like a cold opening, kind of.
Yeah, it's like a cold opening, but like it starts you in the middle of the story and then it goes back to the past, like afterwards.
Sure.
So that's a very popular way to like grab somebody's attention.
Yeah.
And I feel like the last like 5 chapters have been doing that.
I mean, this one kind of doesn't. It does do a flashback, but chronologically it's an actual flashback, kind of. If that makes sense. We'll get to it in a couple pages here.
Yeah. Well, it's still the technique they're using.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Great panel. We got our MC over here. We've got these great little pigtails. I love these. That's a great trope.
Yeah. It's almost like a calic, I think.
Yeah. Well, this is a calic
for sure.
But this is
that's a what do they call
an
it? It's
alfalfa.
Like, no, there's like a Japanese word for it.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah. I guess there's a word for it. Yeah. And then we've got Wolf Girl.
I think it's ahogen.
And a great.
Does that make sense? Like retard hair or something. I think it's something like that. Don't quote me on that.
I think you're thinking of a Hego.
No, Ahegao. That's something different.
And then this outfit and this outfit are both top tier.
Oh yeah, I mean,
she's super adorable cat ears to hide her horns because she's a minotaur.
I think you're legally required to comment on that outfit every time we see it.
It's the best.
Yeah, it really is.
These 2 outfits are like the best.
I don't like the biker one. I think it's too.
I don't like the hat, but like
the hat's the only thing I like about it. Otherwise, I think it's too
risque.
Yeah, I was gonna say slutty, but that's like maybe too charged of a word.
Because she's like a teenager, like.
No, it's just I don't know. I guess that's too negative a word, but I don't want to slut shame her.
Well, she's got she's like Quiet in Metal Gear Solid that breathes through her skin. Like that's why Quiet has to wear a bikini.
Oh, I wasn't aware of
she's got like magic powers that she has to have her skin exposed.
God bless Kojima. What a visionary.
Yeah, well, it's like I think she's like photosynthesis or something. Like she has to be in the sun with based, and then so she does it for a good reason. I think it was because She wanted to get past embarrassment. Is that what it was?
No. It's because her alter ego likes to eat a lot of sweets, and this way, everyone would see if they start to get fat. So that's like kind of a way to limit the sweet intake.
So we're moving on. We got a big 2-panel spread.
I feel like it's kind of a wasted 2-panel spread. There's like literally nothing going on. It's an empty lot.
That's why it's a cheap way to get like your page count numbers up.
Yeah, and it's almost, I'm looking at this now and realizing it for the first time. It kind of reminds me of that Jotaro and Dio meme where they're like walking at each other.
Oh, very little, but yeah.
Maybe it's just the angle that I'm looking at it at, but more so the left side is doing like the walking pose.
So here we have the flashback. We're going back in time.
Yeah.
They have a competing Monster Girl village. Is it a Monster Girl village or just a normal village?
No, it's I think mostly a normal village, but they do have a few Monster Girls.
Well, they're competing with the other village, and now our village won.
They're pseudo rivals, I guess.
And now it looks like they're doing a joint festival.
Yeah. So actually, on this page, you had mentioned it's a flashback. Well, I'm like 95% certain that, especially the top left panel, that was a quote that was from a previous chapter. I couldn't for the life of me find it. I only looked for like 5 minutes. But those were a really intense 5 minutes in which I feel like I looked pretty hard and I couldn't find the quote. And normally when that happens, I like to find the old quote and, replace it or represent it in its entirety, just for consistency's sake. Like I see sometimes where people will have like in their scanlations a quote like, it's like a grayed out type of panel with like old quotes, and they'll often not leave those Or they often do leave those untranslated, and I don't like that. I did it a couple times.
I can't imagine not posters are fine.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine not translating the bubbles.
Yeah,
even if it is a quote. I mean, that's still part of the thing.
Well, this one it's not grayed out, so it is actually the focus of like your reading, so you can't skip it. But sometimes in the ones I'm talking about,
I know what you mean, but I still disavow.
Yeah, same.
I like these SFX. It's very kind of Japanese.
Yeah.
The blocks, but I like it a lot.
Really, a lot of this is very Japanese. The whole manga medium.
You might say, yeah. So there's actual animals in this world too, not just monster girls.
Of course, yeah. This isn't like Avatar, in which they're confused that a bear exists, and it's like, oh, you mean like a skunk bear? You mean like a monkey bear? No, it's just a bear.
Just a normal bear.
It's like, oh, that's weird. No, it's actual. It's supposed to be like Earth, basically, like real life Earth.
What about an elephant girl? It's like the Elephant Man.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that. This panel though, this is one of the pages that gave me a lot of problems.
Because you're afraid of clowns.
Oh yeah, I have like pyrophobia or whatever it's called, or no, chorophobia. I think I don't know. That might mean the fear of something terrible. I don't know. But I guess kind of just to do a little bit of spoilers on the next chapter, and I think this is spoilers that pan out on like the first page, so it's not that bad. Could you guess, after you read the chapter, could you guess what they're going to do for their circus performance?
No.
Okay. See, I feel like I really heavily like
foreshadowed it,
yeah.
I also speed read.
I know. So I figured you wouldn't pick up on it. I would actually be surprised if you did. But I feel like if you read it at like the pace that I tend to read manga, you would have probably noticed it. So I wonder how many people in the reading audience actually picked up on it.
So leave a comment if you can guess what it is.
Well, I feel like I might spoil it now just to talk about the actual translation. You see it on like the first page.
But then we can't get the comments of people trying to...
I know, but it's kind of crucial to like half my commentary for the chapter.
All right. Pause now. Leave a comment. Don't watch any of the rest of this until you leave a comment on the YouTube or the I guess you could do the
yeah.
I guess you could also do the manga page.
Sure.
But it's probably easier to just do it on the YouTube because you're on the page already, and I know you're liking and thumbs upping and subscribing.
Yeah, of course.
Share it, friends. All right. Now, the drum roll.
Okay, so it's Alice in Wonderland themed.
All right.
Okay, and
so I'm gonna have a tea time.
I believe so. Yeah.
I got it.
I haven't looked at the chapter. No. The answer was Alice in Wonderland. Like, that's what their circus act is. It's all based around that.
That's not an act.
Well, I don't know.
That's a theme.
Yeah, it's like a performance. I don't know. I haven't read the chapter since I first read the manga. I just remember it, and I've cleaned part of it already. But here, it even says Wonderland. I used the term Wonderland like 5 different times throughout the chapter. And this main quote, the speech bubble over the elephant, that's the one that gave me so many problems. Because she would say there were certain terms that were used over and over in this chapter in different ways.
Like the N-word.
Yes, like fushigina is like wonderful, fantastic, like mystical or whatever. But the Japanese name for Alice in Wonderland is Fushigina Kuni, I believe, something like that. Like the like wonderful world or whatever, or wonderful country. And she uses that word a few times in here, so I was like, I have to kind of foreshadow it as if they were kind of foreshadowing it in the Japanese, if you're following.
Yeah.
And she also says immersed in here, but the word she uses is more kind of like swallowed up and like consumed by, kind of. So just keep those in mind as we go through for the next few pages.
Consumed. Are you telling me that this goes into vor?
Oh, exclusively, yeah. The last 3 chapters are all vor. That's why they have giant elephants and stuff.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I had to rewrite that panel so many times, or that bubble in particular, and a few others. Here's a good scream face. I think this was the first time I didn't have to edit her into like a screamy face for my
for the end page. Yeah. Because they're all parody of Alex Jones.
Yeah, ideally. I like the idea here that they needed Supika to be kind of like an outsider. They needed an outsider's perspective because they're so tainted by living in the Monster Girl world their whole lives. They don't know what's weird.
Do you realize that, like, I don't know if this is just me, but it seems like always Japanese popsicles are very thin.
Yeah, they are.
Like, American popsicles are thick.
Well, we do have thin ones like that.
No, but I don't think so.
But ours are more like the Kingdom Hearts ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like this, the sleeves on the...
Oh, yeah, how it looks like a little cat or something.
Yeah.
It goes with
and
the hood.
And it blends into the outfit. It's like they have very fashionable design.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of manga has just really cool fashion. Maybe because I'm a child at heart. So this panel, there's also kind of interesting little behind-the-scenes thing in this bottom left corner where she summons her animal friends, which is like, I think the second time, maybe the third time that she's done this. There was that text there where I said, "You called?" And I think that's the bear saying that. I think the bear can talk. So I had to look back to the first time that they got summoned, and I actually missed this in the translation of that chapter, but there's a tiny little yo right next to the bear that I just I cleaned it, but I forgot to like translate it.
Uh-oh. We'll do it. We'll fix it in the remastered
yeah,
version.
of course. So I think based on that the bear does talk, at least in a way that's comprehensible to what's her name?
Yeah. And once again, I like the low res
oh yeah
models.
the little
and then down
chibis
here too. Yeah.
Yeah, I do enjoy the art style a lot in this manga. I think it's very competent. Just kind of a weird praise, but I thought this was a cool panel, seeing like especially the bear riding a bike.
It's a cool
pose. Yeah,
like,
it's a cool panel for sure. And even the fire looks cool.
but then the bear's chicken out.
Yeah, and I love how the bear's always drawn when he's in that kind of chibi form. It's very adorable.
Roger Dodger.
Yeah.
That's a good one. She just turns into a swing set.
Yeah, I guess she's failing at it, doing the actual acrobatics.
It's not a trapeze, she's just swinging.
Yeah. Actually, the name, or
like
the word for trapeze is the same as swing in Japanese. And I had it as swing to begin with, and then I thought, wait a minute, no, that's trapeze. That's a real word, right?
Yeah.
So I looked that up, like the Japanese word, and it's the same as swing. So I went with both.
So all three of these low res ones are just really great. I really like this one, like the low fidelity, low detail type of.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Definitely. And I had to look up how to spell Yodelehihu. I got it right. If you believe it.
Is that what it's? What is it saying?
Pretty much. Like I think it's like their equivalent of it. Like there are a couple of consonants that are a little bit off from what you'd expect.
It's Yodelehihu.
It's probably something like that. Yeah, but it definitely. Maybe I completely missed it, but when I read it, I was like, that's probably what they're trying to say.
Ooh, she's getting burnt. She's like, do you have another critique? It's like, oh, you're too plain. Oh, you're plain Jane.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about how to, or like what word to pick. I just kind of ended up with plain. Like I went with it on a whim. And
you're a basic bitch.
Yeah, like, I don't think an 8-year-old girl would say that.
You'd be surprised.
Well, nowadays maybe, but this is a pure, it's. Oh, okay. So here's another panel of the tough word choices. It's in the left middle one where she says something about like I had to write this one so many times that I don't even remember what I went with. But it was something like I feel like I was surrounded by, or no, got lost in.
Lost in a deep dark pit full of monsters.
Yeah. So with that one, I was trying to evoke some imagery of like falling down the rabbit hole, if I could.
I fell down. I fell down a rabbit hole of monsters.
That was one of the drafts. It was something like that. But it's also the same word that they used when in the previous one where the mayor was talking about being immersed in like the world. So obviously I didn't pick the same word choice here, but I still tried to have it kind of similar imagery. Because if you see in the bottom left, Akane's like repeating it. Her gears are turning because she's like
immersed.
This is one piece of the puzzle. Wait a minute, that card, where she's like about to combine them all for the payoff in a couple pages.
I'd like to get lost in a pit full of these monsters, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, very very well said. And then this one's a classic. It's like, she's like saying nice, friendly stuff, but she's got such a hard exterior. She can't say nice stuff. And then here's the payoff. This top right panel. Where, I feel I'm still upset with what I ended up going with, but it was the best of all the different revisions that I did. And at some point, you just have to say, look, it's good enough. I'm not going to find the perfect combination of words. But I would think that like phrase right there, getting lost, or the feeling of getting lost in a wonderland, I think that would be enough to kind of tip off the reader
What's going on?
Yeah, as to what their plan is going to be. And to be fair, I don't know how well the Japanese audience would be able to guess that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's similar levels of obviousness or hintingness or whatever, foreshadowing.
Should have censored this lewd hand holding.
I didn't even notice it because there's no text in that panel, so I didn't look at it. But you're right. And I thought this was kind of cute how they start to kind of like bully guilt her,
bully cider into into joining
performing
the circus. Yeah.
In particular, I liked I think the page after this one. Well, it starts here where she has like
she's
just
guilting
really
her like, wouldn't your dad be so sad?
Yeah,
look what you've turned into. Like,
and I had fun because I always kind of have fun with her dialogue. I probably don't do it much justice, but I always try to make it sound kind of weird and use words that you wouldn't normally hear.
One cannot conceive of the magnitude of Zeph's anguish when he learns to the extent to which his sweet little Supika has yet to adapt to her new way of life.
Yeah, so
very, very verbose prose.
That's kind of what I go for, which is it's I think more of a weird localization thing. I don't, because she's more just like proper speaking, but I don't know how to speak properly because I'm a hack. So I kind of just do what I do, and I think it works.
And they're all excited.
Yeah.
And then that was the end. And now we get the end pages.
Well, this one, I've got just one comment on these ones. And it's that top left little bubble. Read what that says to me.
Upper eyelid with no fold.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't either. I looked it up. They have like a singular word for this concept. It has something to do with like how the eyelids like meld with like the eye, like
so
brows,
there's also
the brow ridge.
There's a manga going on right now. It's a girl with the senpaku eyes.
That's different.
It
Senpaku is when you see
is
three
the white.
sides
of the white. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the same thing?
No.
All right, then I don't know. They have a lot of concepts for eyes.
They do. I had no idea.
I like the cutout style of this, like the outline.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. And it's interesting that they're 1 centimeter apart. I do the conversions into like feet and inches.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them are like something 0.3 inches. Like I think these were slightly different. Did I end up saying they're the same height, feet and inches? Okay, yeah, it was like 0.3 difference, but I don't know.
6 foot 5'11". It's like
yeah, I should have done that. That would have been funny.
So what do we got for the end page today?
Oh, this is a mess. So it's about
a lot
circuses.
Of words. It's got more words than the whole chapter.
Well, I've got something planned for the final chapter. Don't worry about that. If you think this is a lot of words, just you wait.
It's the full Navy SEAL copy pasta.
It's a well, I'm not gonna
Dear liberals.
No, that's Ben Shapiro with Isabel from Animal Crossing. Another monster girl.
We should do that as a.
That would be really funny. Upload an omake chapter, which is just 1 page.
Yeah. Dear liberals.
No, this is. I was looking for an Alex Jones rant about bread and circuses. That's a pretty common phrase, especially in his like milieu of politics and stuff. But I couldn't find one, so I found one where he's like ranting about like pop culture stuff. It ended up being about kids, kind of being raised into like liking Justin Bieber instead of like Magellan or whatever. So he goes on this rant about Magellan. Yeah, and I added a line about bread and circuses at the beginning. But it was actually a really fun rant to listen to at the end because he just goes completely off the rails, like in the Impassioned Weeaboo.
You know what you should do? One. You should add a link to it at the bottom.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, if we use something like that, and then someday I'm gonna clean up the end pages because it's too many.
You won't. There's only like 3 pages or 3 chapters left.
Well, for the next one.
Okay.
All right, let's check out what we got for the comments.
Yes.
Now this is right after we left them out, so. We don't got too many. Let's see.
Yeah. It's around average, actually, about 3.
Dov Remedy says, there's plenty options. Genju Maid Cafe, Genju Hostess Club, Genju Amusement Park with Haunted House, ... Or they can kidnap a few hundred human every 20 to 30 years to make human-aware Genju exist without seeing them.
Well, so is that, like, trickling the disclosure, or is that kind of like kidnap them and don't let them leave? Or I wonder what he meant. What did he mean by this?
What did he mean? I think he meant like kidnap him and let him go.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I wouldn't mind getting kidnapped, to live in a Monster Girl village. I think that would be pretty comfy.
I think there's a few dojins about that.
Ah, excellent.
We got Annan763 who says their names are based on eucalyptus and ylang.
I don't know what that is. Yeah,
ylang. I can't pronounce it. Yeah.
Iran was like the Japanese, and her name is Ran, like R-A-N, Ran, or whatever.
He's quoting somebody, but maybe they deleted
No, that's my quote. That's from the description of the like the maid
girls,
rock stars or whatever.
Anyway, he says, sure they are. Just Genju here. No yokai to be found.
I don't quite get that. I don't know.
There's a difference between
that
Genji and Yoku. Yokai are like demons.
They're like more like ghosts, I think.
But I think it's implied that they're like more sinister.
I don't know. Most of my yokai knowledge is from Yokai Watch, and I don't know Yokai Watch, but they're like Pokemon, so.
We also got one from Mariano Lynx. I can't pronounce things. I can't read.
Sure.
I'm actually blind.
It's hard to read.
He says, I can't wait for the next chapter. Thanks.
Nice.
And that's always
well
good.
Said.
Yeah. You know, actually, every time I go and read a chapter now, I'll always leave a comment on their thing and be like, thanks for scanlating.
Nice,
Great chapter.
Nice.
So, you know, I'm playing it forward, so I'm glad we're getting some back, I'll say.
Great chapter, thanks.
Great job, guys.
I just listened to that YouTube. Did you do that on the last one?
I did that on the last one, yeah.
I just watched a YouTube video I'm recording right now.
Great job, guys. It's me.
Well, I mean, you know, you didn't do it, so that's valid.
All right, guys, thumbs up. Go watch all the videos on the YouTube. Peace out.
Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/PewDiePie.
/Asmongold.
Yep.
What's up, y'all? It's me. It's your boy, Alinity.